Okay, hello everyone. I'm gonna be on this first video. I'm gonna introduce the tools, and we're only going to talk about the basics. There are a lot of stuff in the tool setting, and it's gonna take way too long to talk about everything. And I will talk about it little by little during the process. Maybe during my next videos. So let's go into the basics. So here's the new file page, and I always set my settings to pixels. And to recommend, I would go for RGB color. It's better for printing, and the resolution is always 300 for the better quality. If it's lower than 300, the quality drops by pixel. So let's start with our first tool. For the little side memo, I'm recording my voiceover after I made the video, so it might mismatch in and there, but I will try to not make it confusing. Okay, so the layers section, and layers actually deserve another separate video, but I will be using my first layer here. Okay, so as to use our first tool, move, I'm just gonna draw with the brush tool, and let's just do some testing before we do. And so the first tool is the move tool. You can see it in the left corner. The move tool, the shortcut is V on your keyboard. It's pretty simple tool. Whatever you select something or draw something, maybe in PNG object, you can just move that object whenever you're on that layer. And to make sure you remember something, you always gotta make sure you're on that right layer. Okay, the second tool is called marker tool. It's like a selection tool. There are a lot of selection tools out there, like shape-wise, drawing-wise, or paint-wise. Select tools. This one is for pretty basic shapes. So marker tool can be done with circle as well. So what is being shown in the video is the marble square one. And also, if you hold shift and draw across your canvas, it selects that perfect square. But if you just select with just your mouse, it will make shapes like still square but not really even. So the Control Z on your keyboard, Control Z is undo shortcut. It's gonna be very useful for especially while you're learning, or even when you're doing something as well. Always, whenever you mess something up, you just click Control Z and undo. So what I just did there is I hold my shift and drag my mouse while holding the shift button, and that's how I made the perfect square selection. Okay, the next tool is called lasso tool. As for the lasso tool, it's one of those many selection tools, and you can't always just use square or round shape to select everything. It's more easier to it's more useful when it comes to selecting stuff that is more complicated, shaped more detailed or complicated, as if it's like a maybe human, animal, or anything like that. So what as you can see on my layer 1, the layer where I painted random green, I used lasso tool to draw a little heart, like heart or flower shape, and then I moved it with the move tool after selection. Okay, the after lasso, it's like a paint tool, but for the selection. Whenever the object is visible, it just automatically selects that whatever you paint with it. And the next tool is called crop tool. Crop tool, shortcut for the C. Crop tool, actually this one is mostly used when you want to extend crop your working canvas. It doesn't necessarily better your resolution. You have to do it in a separate setting. As for your working stage, you can just automatically extend your working canvas. As you can see, when I extended it, it kind of left like this transparent mark. So I added solid colors from the down right section, and when you add color fill, when you add white color fill, it kinda covers the whole transparent area. So as you can see, when I merged my color fill, it kinda just stays in that same canvas. But if I don't merge it, it will, whenever you extend your canvas, it will just be filled. Next tool is called frame tool. For the frame tool, you select a certain area and it will just leave the it will just come in front of your layer, and you have this little window that you can see your working project. And if you put it behind your working layer, it will do the opposite. And this is for the color selection tool. Whatever color you select, click on, it will just get you to the color. As you can see, I painted red and then used eyedrop tool, like color selection, and then when I click on it, it will just bring it to the red that I painted prior. Next tool is called, okay, I'm just clicking Ctrl C to undo my steps. So the next tool is called clone stamp tool, and the shortcut for this tool is S. So okay, for the stamp tool, okay, let me just draw something here, and then you select your stamp tool on your keyboard. Its shortcut is S. You first select certain area. And then when you draw, use your brush, draw next to the certain area, it will just copy that area. As you can see, it's copying I selected the red, so that's why it's copying the red part of the canvas. So I'm just gonna use brush, and then I select the stamp on the brush I just painted with, and when I draw, it will just copy that selected area. As you can see, it's kind of like a duplication tool. Okay, eraser is pretty simple tool. You can just erase whatever is in the layer that you're working on, layer 1 or layer 2. It could be a brushwork, painting, or PNG. And you can change the size or hardness in the left corner of the setting. And oh yeah, and one easy shortcut is that you press your alt button and then your right mouse click, and when you change it like that, it changes size, like directly. Okay, the next tool here I'm using in the video is gradient tool. Gradient tool is a type of tool that you can use when you want to make like quick and easy background, maybe 2 or 3 colors. It really it reacts to whatever dominant color is in the Canva. But for this case, you can see that even though I'm filling the whole Canva with mostly black, it's still turning red, because in the right setting you can see like a fill color, which is red. That's why it's just mostly turning red. And when you click reverse or other, it can switch the color, whatever you're doing. And there's an angle section, scale. When you drop the scale, you can see that it creates like a very hard edge. And if you change the angle, it will change the precision and the scale. You can make it like blend the two of them together. And as you can see with my mouse, I can change the direction of the blend. As you can see, if I change the color, maybe one side of the color blue and red, it turns into like the mesh between red and blue. And you can pick any color you want. Sometimes it can be even 3 colors, but in my case it's 2 colors. Okay, so next tool is a blur tool. With the blur tool you can it's very simple. You can blur images or like part of the image. As you can see, when I click on the birds, certain parts of the birds, they're not exactly visible now. Yeah, it's good when you want to create an effect where you want to show like a distance, or something is very close to you, or something's very far. It's great for that. And next one is dodge tool. On your keyboard, the shortcut is O. With dodge tool, it's not exactly a great tool, but it can make make certain things a little more brighter, and it's useful if you want to like pop out your highlight. Okay, so as for the next tool, I'm gonna pick a picture, and I have to show you to this. So this tool is called pen tool. Pen tool is very useful. It's another one of the selection tools, but in this case, when you try to select some like certain pictures, it's they not exactly do the select the right areas. So when you want to select your own areas, like it's like a drawing, but you can make like cleaner cuts, is what I mean. Okay, so now that we are done selecting, I'm gonna press Ctrl and Enter on my keyboard. And when you enter that, you can see like the path lines around the selected area. And when you press V on your keyboard, a shortcut for move to, you can move the selected whatever you selected in the selected object. And if you press Ctrl I, it turns into a reverse color. So my layer is still locked, so I press twice and then turn it into a normal layer. And you can see I have two choices. I can just delete with Shift Control and then I to reverse select and delete the background, or I can just press delete button on my keyboard to delete the selected object. But I always mask my selected area in case I might use the background or I might use the selected object. Either way, it's useful for many reasons. So always mask your selected areas. The next tool is text. I'm just gonna go to a new layer and then select text tool. Text tool is pretty simple. You just type whatever you want, and then you press Ctrl T to change the font or size or the space between the letters. I really encourage anyone who's studying Photoshop to experiment with your stuff, experiment with your tools, and try new things. Try to do this, do that. It's very useful. So of color filled layers, and whenever you make a new object or new shape, it creates a new layer with that shape in it. You can always merge the layers, but for now I'm just gonna talk about the tool. So I just created beige one, green one, two different shape tools. So it's usually used if you want to maybe like fill up maybe like a background, or maybe you want some kind of frame around you or text or something like that. And you can always, adjust your shapes, adjust the objects, and you can always change the color and give it a frame and stuff. As you can see, when you click your left mouse on the tool, there are a bunch of different options where you can also select round shape as well. And on the right side of the setting, you can see the fill option where you can decide the color. And for the stroke is what color should it be, should be around the frame. Yeah, I'm pressing Ctrl Z to undo everything I just did now. And the last one is the hand tool. On your keyboard, it's H. Press H and you go to the hand tool. Whenever you zoomed in and working on maybe something detailed and you wouldn't like to be zooming in, zooming out all the time, so you press H to move your hand tool and move the screen, like drag it. And one more thing is that when you press your Alt and then roll your mouse, like in the round thing between your mouse buttons, it automatically zooms in and zooms out. Okay, this is it for now. On my next videos, I will be making more detailed step-by-step tutorials, so whoever is trying to learn will understand the tools better, the more practice.